Hi my dear students, welcome back to the class. So far we were discussing about operations among sets, isn't it? We discussed about the union and intersection of two sets. So in this class we are going to solve the exercise problems based on those concepts. So in this class we are going to solve exercise 1.4 of your NCERT textbook. So the first question in example 1.4 is find the union of the following pairs. So we are given with pairs in each question part and we are asked to find the union. See, we can easily find X union Y from here. We know that the definition of union of two sets is that the set of all elements which belongs to either of the sets, isn't it? So here we can have 1, 3, 5 in set X, and in the set Y we can have 2 in addition. 1 and 3 already written here. So in addition we have 2 only. So we added 2 to the unions to get X union Y. So here we have every element in this set belongs to either of X or to Y, isn't it? Now we can easily find the second one, A union B. A union B is equal to A, E, I, O, U are there in A. Now in B, set B, small a, B and C are there. So in addition to the set A, we can have B and C to the union. So our union become A, B, C. Then E, I, O, U. No need to refer this order, you can follow any order because in writing the set in roster form, the order of the elements doesn't matter or doesn't make any change. What matters is the elements only, and we no need to repeat the elements twice, so that every element in this set will be in either A or in B. Coming on to the third one, set of all X such that X element of n and X is a multiple of 3. So this set is actually set of all X element of n and X is a multiple of 3, say 3, 6, 9, 12, etc. And this set of all X such that X is a natural number less than 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the set B. Therefore A union B is equal to set of all 1 is there, 2 is there, 3 is there, 4 is there, 5 is there, now 6 is there, 9 is there, 12 is there, and etc. So this will be the set A union B. So every element in this set is either in this set or in this set. Now coming on to this example, let A is equal to set of all X element of n such that 1 less than X less than or equal to 3. So the set of all elements in this set actually 2, see here we have strict less than, so 2 is the first natural number here, 3, 4, 5 and 6 can be included since here less than or equal to. Now in this set 6 is here we have strict inequality, so the first natural number here is 7, 8, 9. So this is a set, we cannot include 10 since this is a strict inequality. Therefore the union of these two sets A union B is equal to set of all 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, isn't it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the set A union B. We can write the set builder form also. Set of all X such that X element of n and 1 less than X less than 10. So this will be the set builder form of this set. Or we can write 2 less than or equal to X less than or equal to 9. Both of these are admissible, 1 less than X less than 10. You can write in either way. These are the same. So now coming on to the last one. A is equal to 1, 2, 3, B is equal to 5. We know that there is no element in this set. This is an empty set. So A union B is equal to set of all 1, 2, 3, etc. Sorry, 1, 2, 3 itself, since B is a null set. So this is the answer for first question in your exercise 1.4. Coming on to the second question of this exercise, let A is equal to set AB and B is equal to set ABC. The question is A subset of B and what is A union B? Since we know that for a set to be a subset of other set, every element of the first set must be in the second set also, isn't it? See, you can see every element of the first set A is in the second set B, since A is there and B is there. So we can say that A is a subset of B, since every element of A is also in B. Now coming on to the second part, what is A union B? A union B means set of all elements which are either in A or in B. So A is in both, B is in both, and C is in B. So this will be the A union B. Now coming on to the third one, if A subset of B, what is A union B? We know that whenever A is said to be a subset of B, every element of A are there in B also, isn't it? Therefore, A union B will be actually what? B itself. Since every element of A is in B also, A union B contains all the members in A or in B. Since every element of A are there in B, A union B will be B itself. If you have doubt, just check the example in the previous example. So exercise 2 of exercise 1.4, you can refer there, that whenever A is a subset of B, an example is there, whenever A is a subset of B, A union B will be actually what? B itself. So coming on to the fourth question of this exercise, the question is that if A, B, C and D are given, then we have to find out all these things. First of all, let us find A union B. A union B contains all the elements either in A or in B, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4 are in A. Now 3 is already written, 4 is already written, 5 and 6 will be what? A union B. Now what? Consider A union C. So we have to consider A and C. 1, 2, 3, 4 are there in A. 1, 2, 3, 4. In C we have 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will be A union C. Now coming to B union C. We have to consider B and C. See, in B we have 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6 are in B. Now already we written 5, already we written 6. Now the remaining is 7 and 8 in C. So this is B union C. Coming on to B union D. So we have to consider B and D. 3, 4, 5, 6 are there in B. 3, 4, 5, 6 are there in B, and in D we have 7, 8, 9 and 10. So this will be what? Our B union D. Now we have to find A union B, union C. We already found out A union B and C is here. So the union of these two, A union B and C, will be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are already there in A union B. In C we have 5, 6, 7, 8, but already we written 5 and 6. So the remaining is 7 and 8. Now we have to find A union B, union D. Already we found out A union B. We have D here. So what all things are there in A union B? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In D we have 7, 8, 9 and 10. 7, 8, 9 and 10. Now coming on to the last, B union C, union D. We already found out B union C. Now we have to find out union D. So D is here, B union C is here. What all things are there in B union C? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these things are in B union C. Union D, what all things are in there in D? 7 and 8 are there in D. Now and we have written there in here also. Now the remaining is 9 and 10. So this is the required quantities. Now we shall move on to the next question. The fifth question is to find the intersection of each pair in the above question. So we have to find out all the intersections in the previous example, and I am assigning you that as a homework, and you can do it very simple. Just identify those common elements in the pair and write it into a set form, roster form. That will be the intersection of those two sets. Just write it out and give me the feedback that whether you are able to write it or not. Now we shall move to the sixth question. The question is that if A is equal to 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and B is equal to set of all 7, 9, 11, 13 and C is equal to 11, 13, 15 and D is equal to set of all 15, 17, we are asked to find all these 12 sets. Okay, first of all we have to find A intersection B. First of all, remember that A intersection B contains all the elements which are both in A and in B. So first of all, we can look into A and B. We can see that 3 is not common to A and B, since 3 is absent here. 5 is not common, but 7 is both there in A and B. So we can list out 7 at the first. 9 is common to both A and B, so we can list out 9 the second, and 11 is common to both A and B, so 11 is common to both of them. Therefore A intersection B is nothing but 7, 9 and 11. Coming on to B intersection C, we can observe B and C. We can see that 11 is common and 13 is common, so 11 and 13 will be in the set B intersection C. Now we shall move on to A intersection C intersection D. First of all, we have to find A intersection C. Then we can make intersection with the D. A intersection C. Look into A and C. We can see that 11 is the only element which is common to A and C. So A intersection C is nothing but 11. Intersection D. What is D? So we can know that D is nothing but 15, 17. So we found out A intersection C, and then we are going to take intersection with the D. Now we can see that there is no element common to both these sets, isn't it? There is no element common to these two sets, so the intersection of these two sets will be 5. Therefore A intersection C intersection D will be 5. Now we shall evaluate A intersection C. We already evaluated A intersection C, which is nothing but singleton 11, since 11 is the only element common to A and C. The next one is B intersection D. We shall observe B and D at the same time. We can see that there is no element common to B and D. Therefore the intersection will be the null set. We can represent the null set by either of these two notations. So I just represented B intersection D using this notation. So the next one, sixth one, A intersection B union C. So first of all, we have to evaluate B union C. So B union C is equal to, what is B and what is C? B is equal to this set, C is equal to this set. So the union will be those elements which are in either of the sets. 7, 9, 11, 13 are there in B, and 11, 13 are there in C also. So no need to write 11, 13 again, and there is a 15 in the set C. So this will be B union C. Now we can take A intersection B union C. Therefore A intersection B union C will be contain the set of all elements which containing the common elements in B union C and in A. We can observe that 7, 9 and 11 are the three elements which are common to A and B union C. So A intersection B union C will be the set 7, 9, 11, isn't it? So that's the answer for sixth question. Now coming on to the seventh one, what is A intersection D? We know that the A intersection D contains all the elements which are common to both A and D. We can observe that the elements which are common to A and D is nothing, since there is elements 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 in A, and the elements in D is 15, 17. So the common elements is no one. Therefore we can write A intersection D is nothing but 5. So the coming on to the eighth one, A intersection B union D. Now we are going to find B union D at the first. B union D is equal to set of all elements which is there in B or in D, isn't it? Therefore 7, 9, 11, 13 are the elements which are in B, and we have 15 and 17 in D. Therefore this is B union D. Now we can evaluate A intersection B union D, which are the elements common in A and B union D. We can see that 7, 9 and 11 are common in A and B union D. Therefore A intersection B union D will be the set 7, 9, 11. Okay. Coming on to the ninth one, A intersection B intersection B union C. So first we are going to find A intersection B. We already evaluated A intersection B as set 7, 9, 11. 7, 9, 11. Now we are going to find B union C. So B union C will be the set of all elements. We already evaluated B union C here. So B union C is equal to 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. Now we are going to take the intersection of A intersection B and B union C, which are the elements common in both the sets, isn't it? Therefore A intersection B intersection B union C is equal to the elements common are 7, 9 and 11. So this will be the answer for the 9th one. Now coming on to the 10th one, we have to find A union D at the first and B union C at the second. Then we have to take the intersection. A union D will be the set of all elements in A or in D. We know that those set is nothing but set. We already evaluated A union D here. No, I think no. So we can evaluate it in special case. So A union D is equal to 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 are there in A, and in D we have additionally 15 and 17. So this will be the set A union D. Now we can evaluate B union C is the set of all elements. We already evaluated B union C here. Right? B union C is a set of all elements which are either in B or in C. So B union C is equal to 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. Now we have to take the intersection of these two sets, which means that the set of all elements which is common to this set and this set, which are 7, 9, 11 and 15. So we have the set of all elements are 7, 9, 11 and 15 are the common elements. So this is the answer for the question number 6 of exercise 1.4. Coming on to the 7th question, the 7th question asks you that if A is a set of all x such that x element of n, which means that A is a set of all natural numbers, B is the set of all even natural numbers, C is the set of all odd natural numbers, and D is the set of all prime numbers. We have to find all these things. First of all, A intersection B, which means that the set of all elements which belongs to A and the set of all elements which belongs to B, which means that the set of all elements which is common to both A and B. We know that A means the set of all natural numbers, whereas B means set of all even natural number. Therefore, we know that the set of all elements which are common to A and B will be set of all x such that x is an even natural number, isn't it? Because what? A contains all the natural numbers, B contains only even natural numbers, and hence we can say that the elements which are common to A and B are the set of all even natural numbers, because A already contains all natural numbers, which includes even natural numbers also. Now coming on to A intersection C. A means set of all natural numbers, C means set of all odd natural numbers. Hence, the set of all elements which are common to A and C will be set of all x such that x is an odd natural number, isn't it? So that will be the set A intersection C. Now coming on to A intersection D. A is set of all natural numbers, D is a set of all prime numbers. We know that A already contains the set of all prime numbers because all prime numbers are natural numbers also. So therefore, the A intersection D means set of all x such that x is a prime number, isn't it? So that is A intersection D. Now B intersection C. B intersection C. B means set of all even natural numbers, C means set of all odd natural numbers. Hence it is clear that there is no element common to B and C. Therefore B intersection C will be the null set. Now coming on to B intersection D. B means set of all even natural numbers, D means set of all prime numbers. We know that D contains only one even natural number, which is 2, because 2 is the only prime number, isn't it? Therefore, the element which is common to B and D will be singleton 2, because B contains the even natural numbers, D contains the prime numbers. Here B have 2, D also have 2, and there is no other element common to B as well as D. Now coming on to the last one, C intersection D. We know that C contains set of all odd natural numbers, D contains set of all prime numbers. We know that in addition to all odd prime numbers, there is an even prime number in D, which is 2. And here we don't have 2 since C is a set of all odd natural numbers. Hence C intersection D will contain all odd prime numbers, because all odd prime numbers are common to both C and D, isn't it? So C intersection D will be the set of all X such that X is an odd prime number. So that is C intersection D. So I hope you understood how we can take intersection of two sets, whether the two sets are given in the roster form or in the set builder form. So that's the end of exercise 7. Question number 7. Now we shall move on to the question number 8. Now coming on to the 8th question of your textbook. The question is that which of the following pairs of sets are disjoint? The important part of this question is identifying this word. You must have a clear understanding about what does this word means. Disjoint means, we know that whenever the intersection of two sets are 5, or whenever the two sets doesn't have any common element in it, then we can say that the two sets are disjoint. Just understand the name disjoint very well. We say that two sets are disjoint only when, if and only if, there is no common element to both the sets. Okay. Now coming on to the first one. Set 1, 2, 3, 4 and set of all x such that x is a natural number and 4 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 6. We can make this set into the roster form as x must be a natural number and 4 less than or equal to. So 4 is included, x less than or equal to 6. So 5 is included and 6 is included. Then we can say that 4 is common to both the sets. So this is, since we can name this as A and this as B, therefore A intersection B is nothing but what? Singleton 4. And this is not equal to 5 or not equal to a null set. Therefore A and B are not disjoint here. Clear? Now coming on to the second one. A, E, I, O, U and C, D, E, F. We can name this as A and this as B. And you can see that E is common to both the sets. Therefore, A intersection B is equal to singleton E, which is not equal to a null set. Therefore, A and B are not what? Disjoint. Coming on to the third one, set of all x such that x is an even integer. Okay, set of all x such that x is an odd integer. Then it is clear that there is no element common to both A and B, since there is no number which is both even and odd. Therefore, A and B are disjoint. So the only disjoint pair here is the third one. Now coming on to the 9th question of your textbook, the question asks you that we are given with 4 sets and we have to find all these differences. Also always remember that whenever we are given with 2 sets A and B, the difference of those 2 sets is denoted by A minus B, and we call A minus B as the set of all elements which are in A but not in B. Similarly, B minus A as the set of all elements which are in B but not in A. In that context, we can read A minus B here as the set of all elements in A but not in B. So we can observe that 3 is in A, not in B. Therefore 3, 6 is in A, not in B, 9 is in A but not in B, but 12 is in A as well as in B. 15 is in A but not in B, 18 is in A but not in B, also 21 is in A but not in B. Therefore, A minus B will be this set. Similarly, A minus C. This is a set of all elements which are in A but not in C. So, 3 is there in A but not in C. 6 is there in A as well as in C. 12 is there in A as well as in C. 15 is there in A but not in C. 18 is there in A but not in C. 21 also is there in A but not in C. So this will be the set A minus C. Now coming on to A minus D, the set of all elements in A but not in D. 3 is there in A but not in D. 6 is there in A but not in D. 9 is also there in A but not in D. 12 is also there in A but not in D. But 15 is there in A as well as D. 18 is there in A but not in D. 21 also is there in A but not in D. This will be A minus D. Coming on to B minus A, the set of all elements in B but not in A. 4 is there in B but not in A. 8 is there in B but not in A. 12 is there in A as well as B. 16 is there in A, B but not in A. 20 is there in B but not in A. So this will be the set B minus A. Coming on to C minus A, the set of all elements there in C and not in A. We can identify the elements in C. 2 is there in C but not in A. 4 is there in C but not in A. 6 is common to both. Now 8 is not common to both, there in C but not in A. 10 is not in A. 12 is common to both. 14 is not in A and 16 is not in A. So the elements will be 2, 4, 8, 10, 14, 16. 2, 4, 8, 10, 14, 16 will be the set of all elements C minus A. Similarly, we can evaluate D minus A as a set of all elements in D but not in A. You can observe that 5 is in D but not in A, 10 is not in A, 15 is there in A also, 20 is not in A. So the set will be 5, 10 and 20 will be the set. Similarly, we can evaluate the difference of the any of the pairs. Very simple. Always observe that in order to find B minus C, just observe the elements in B but not in C. Is that a very simple exercise? You can complete these 6 pairs by yourself. So I am letting you to do these sets. If you find any difficulty in solving any of this, just ask me personally. So this is the answer of the first 6 pairs, and the next 6 pairs is an homework for you. Now we shall do the 10th question of your textbook. The question is that if x is equal to set of all a, b, c, d and y is equal to set of all f, b, d, j, then we are asked to find x minus y minus x and x intersection y. X minus y will be the set of all elements in x but not in y. We know that A and C are the only elements which are in x but not in y. Because B is there in Y and D is there in Y. So A, C will be the set x minus y. Now y minus x will be the set of all elements in y but not in x. We know that f and g will be the set of all elements in y but not in x. So f, g. Now x intersection y means the set of all elements in both x and y. We can see that the set of all elements in x and y are B and D, set B and D. So this will be the answer for exercise 10 of your textbook. Coming on to the question number 11 of your textbook, the question is that if R is the set of all real numbers and Q is the set of all rational numbers, then what is R minus Q? See, we know that the set of all real numbers is a set which consists of rational numbers as well as irrational numbers, isn't it? All the numbers which will be either one among rational numbers or one among irrational numbers. There is no other choice for a number in a real number set, isn't it? So when we subtract the set of all elements which is rationals from the set of all real numbers, then what remains will be the set of all irrational numbers, because each and every real number must be either a rational number or an irrational number. So if we subtract all the rational numbers from the real numbers, what remains will be the set of all irrational numbers. Therefore, R minus Q is equal to set of all irrational numbers. Or we can make it into a perfect set builder form as set of all x such that x is an irrational number. So this is the R minus Q. Coming on to the last question of this session, the question is that State whether which of the following statement is true or false. So we have to identify the true or false statements from these sets and we have to justify the answer. The first question is set 2, 3, 4, 5 and 3, 6. 3, 6 are disjoint sets. See, here we have 3 as a common element to both the sets. We know that the disjoint means the two sets are said to be disjoint if there is no common elements to both the sets, isn't it? But here we have 3 as common elements, so this is not disjoint sets. Hence this statement is a false statement. You have to justify your answer like this. 3 is a common element to both the set, hence these two sets are not disjoint. Okay, coming on to the second one. Here we have A is a common element to both the set and hence we can say that these two sets are not disjoint, hence the statement is again false. Coming on to the next one, 2, 6, 10, 14, 3, 7, 11, 15 are disjoint sets. Exactly. See, there is no common elements to both the sets. Hence, we can say that these two sets are disjoint. Hence, the statement is true. You have to justify like this. There is no common elements to both these sets. Hence, these two sets are disjoint. Coming on to the last one, 2, 6, 10, 3, 7, 11 are disjoint sets. Exactly true, since there is no common element to both these sets. Hence, we can say that these two sets are disjoint sets. That's the end of the last question of this exercise. So, I hope you are clear with all the questions we were discussed so far. If you have any doubt regarding any question, just ask me personally and I will clarify your doubts. So, this is the end of this exercise. I hope this exercise is a very simple exercise because it only requires to find some differences and to find some true or false statements, etc. So just exercise these questions very well and you will excel in this chapter for sure. So till the next class, wait for the next class. Bye bye.